Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sonteo. I just wanted to do an update of all the current RGBA fighters, starting with Mikey Garcia, 39-0, 30 knockouts, scheduled to fight Errol the Truth Spence, 24-0 with 21 knockouts. The fight is scheduled for March 16th at AT&T Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Mikey has been, he's probably in his third week of sparring. He is sparring Southpaw John Bauza from Top Rank, and he's also using Alfredo Escarcega. Escarcega is a fighter. Here he is. He's 7-0, 3 knockouts. He is from Arizona. He fights at 140. He's a southpaw. He's been on Thompson cards. He's fought on Golden Boy cards. He's fought in Tucson. He's fought in Tijuana with on Beef Light's pro debut fight, and then he's also fought with on cards with Wesley Diana. So in his last fight in October 2018, he knocked out his opponent in the third round. So he's usually he's this week he also started fighting sparring Josue Vargas, who's also at 140, who's a southpaw. So he's using multiple sparring partners right now, but he's gonna start to step it up. And this week we have seen 22-0 with 15 knockouts Brazilian Esquiva Falcao, who fights at 160, and he'll come up later in the reel, but he's definitely stepping it up. This fight was canceled, I think, on Monday. We probably got the news on Tuesday or Wednesday, and this fight is currently on right now. The substitute for Mares is Hugo Ruiz, who's 39-4 with 33 knockouts. Mares had a detached retina and overwent surgery. So luckily, Hugo Ruiz stepped in and is the opponent for Gervonta Tank Davis. So on February 8th, Thompson Boxing is having an event in Ontario. TGB is having Tank fight Hugo Ruiz that replaces Mares. Also on that card from San Antonio, Mario Barrios. He weighed in at 142.5. His opponent is making his second U.S. debut. Steve Farhood mentioned Mario couldn't do that much homework on his opponent. There's only a couple fights on YouTube. Jose Balderas is also on the card. He already officially won. He got a 3-round knockout. In Indio tonight, Golden Boy Promotions is having bouts that include Ray Vargas, the WBC champion from Mexico, Alberto Machado, he's a Puerto Rican champion, Jojo Diaz, and Genaro Gomez. Genaro Gomez posted on his Instagram that things didn't turn out the way he wanted, and it sounds like he will not be fighting tonight. He was supposed to be fighting Ivan Striker Delgado, and that he's on later on the reel as well. And then the biggest fight on Sunday, to be hosting around 12,000 people, is Jose Carlos Ramirez, the WBC 140-pound champion, versus Jose Cepeda, who's 30-1. Also on that card on Top Rank is Ray Beltran, Andy Vences, Saul Neno Rodriguez, Gabriel Flores, Joel Diaz Jr., Isidro Ochoa, and Guido Villanello. So that card is heavily stacked. All the cards this weekend are heavily stacked, whether they're PBC, Golden Boy, or Top Rank. It's a good weekend to be a fight fan. Hugo El Gatito Ruiz weighed in at 29.5. Gervonta Tank Davis weighed in at 130.4. Then he removed his clothes and weighed in at 130.2. And then he was given 30 minutes to lose the weight. He did make weight. He weighed in at 129.8. And the fight was made official. Before Mares suffered the detached retina, Robert Garcia did mention on social media that if Tank didn't make weight versus Mares, that the fight would be canceled. So officially, Tank did make weight. Hugo Ruiz told Steve Farhood that he was not surprised about Tank missing weight, that he's done it before. Josecito Lopez, 36-8-0, just came off of a fight last weekend, the 26th, versus Keith One-Time Thurman. His best round was the 7th round. He almost had him out of there. Some are saying that the ref could have stopped the fight then, but credit to Keith Thurman. After that fight, after that 7th round, he did come back and box and did very well in the remaining 5 rounds. So there is talk in the gym about his next fight. Some people are mentioning Broner. Some people are mentioning other fighters, but RGBA is definitely proud of Riverside Rocky in his performance versus Keith One-Time Thurman last week at the Barclays Center. Jose Carlos Ramirez, 23-0, 16 knockouts. He is the WBC 140 champion. He will be fighting tomorrow, Sunday, at the Save Mart in Fresno. And he is sparring Josue Vargas as well. Just like Mikey Garcia, he's also sparring Eric Puente from Vista, California, the San Diego area. And the newest addition to RGBA, he's sparring 11-0 John Bauza and 4-0 Ruben Rodriguez. So he's definitely prepared. I did not watch the weigh-ins for this fight, but I did see some posts on Instagram. So probably, most likely, both fighters made weight. Brandon Bam Bam Rios is scheduled for his second fight with Matchroom Boxing on February 23rd in El Auditorio Municipal in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He is fighting La Zorrita Soto, Humberto La Zorrita Soto, and he's been sparring in Riverside as well. And he did help Josecito Lopez prepare for his fight against Keith One-Time Thurman. Also on this card, you see the pro debut of Alexis El Macizo Espino, one of the newest additions to RGBA Riverside. He is from Las Vegas. He's a middleweight. So this is Brandon Bam Bam Rios' next fight. Here you see Esquiva Falcao. He is a top-ranked fighter. He arrived to RGBA Riverside. Here you see him standing next to David Benavides and his dad. And he might be there to spar David Benavides. He might be there to spar Alexis Espino. And then, as previously rumored, he might be sparring Mikey Garcia. He's not in the picture with Mikey Garcia, but it was Robert Garcia did announce on ES News that he would be bringing in Alexis from Santana. I forgot his last name. It's Alexis. I want to say Ochoa, but it's not Ochoa. He's a welterweight, southpaw welterweight from Santa Ana, California, and he would be bringing in 160-pound middleweight Esquiva Falcao from Brazil in order to get him prepared for Errol, the Truth Spence. Eric De Leon, 18-0 with 1 draw. He has 10 knockouts. He had a dislocated shoulder in the fall of last year, but he's definitely in his road back to recovery. Joshua El Profesor Franco had a fight scheduled for January 26th, but fell ill and was not able to fight in Houston, Texas. He's a Golden Boy fighter. Hector Tanajara has been seen in the gym recently, and he is scheduled to fight on that card in Tijuana under Brandon Bam Rios and on the pro debut of Alexis Espino. So he's been seen in the gym here in Riverside. Jonathan Thunder Navarro, 16-0, 8 knockouts. We have no updates on him. Carlos Lincona, as you see here, holding up his 2 belts, the WBO Latino belt and the IBF belt. Fights at 105. He's 14-0 with 2 knockouts. His opponent has been announced. DJ Creel, 14-1-1. This fight will take place February 16th on the Leo Santa Cruz card at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. And we've definitely seen him in the gym in Riverside via ES News. Virgil Ortiz Jr. fought on January 26th in Houston. He improved to 12-0 with 12 knockouts. He was originally announced to fight Saul Corral, but last minute there was a change of opponent to Jesus Valdez Barrayan from Sonora. This is one of the hottest prospects at 140, and definitely keep an eye out for Virgil Ortiz Jr. from Grand Prairie, Texas. Joseph Adorno, 11-0, 10 knockouts, Puerto Rican fighter from Top Rank, is scheduled to fight March 17th, 2019 in New York, and his opponent has been announced as 10-2 Adriano Ramirez. This is scheduled to be a 6-round fight. Joseph Blessed Hands is his nickname, Adorno. And then also the newest addition after Macizo Espino, the newest addition, John El Terrible Bauza, 11-0 with 5 knockouts. He is a super lightweight, also fights at 140. He's been sparring Jose Carlos Ramirez, and now he's been used for sparring as well against Mikey, since he's a southpaw. And his fight date is also March 17th at the Madison Square Garden versus Angel Sarinana, 10-7-2. It's a 6-round fight. The main event will be Luis Colazo versus Sammy Vargas. Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero, 9-0, 7 knockouts from Dallas, Texas. We have no updates on him, but hopefully he'll be able to fight on the Garcia Promotions card the night before Spence versus Mikey. Hopefully we get to see him in the ring. Louis Coria, they want to get him a rematch for his loss in Tucson versus Tomas Valdez. They're trying to set that up for April 26th, again at the event center in San Bernardino, California. Louis Coria from Riverside, 10-2-0. Genaro El Conde Gamez from Golden Boy, 8-0, 5 knockouts. I think he's just managed by Robert Garcia. I don't think he's trained. We have not seen him in the gym. We have seen him in the gym, but not for a camp. You see him there occasionally, but I think he might be trained by his dad. And then he posted on his social media on Instagram that things didn't turn out the way he wanted, but things happen for a reason. And it sounds like his fight was canceled. He was scheduled to fight Ivan Striker Delgado at the Fantasy Springs Casino today, February 9th. Misael El Chino Rodriguez, 9-0, 4 knockouts from Chihuahua. He won his last fight. It was in Ciudad Guzman, Guadalajara, Jalisco. And he is promoted by Ringstar Sports, Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports, along with Lindolfo Delgado. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 8-0, 4 knockouts. He has been seen in the gym there in San Antonio. It sounds like RGBA San Antonio has a new facility, and there's on social media there's waves of him and his brother training and gearing up and staying in shape in the gym. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, he is promoted by Tekken Promotions, by Mr. Honda. Tekken Promotions stayed very active this year. Was fought on some of the biggest cards of 2018. Jesse Bam Rodriguez from San Antonio. Lindolfo Delgado, 8-0, 8 knockouts. He won in spectacular fashion on January 13th. It was, I'm not sure his fight was televised on FS1, but the fights were on FS1. This was his first 8-round fight. His opponent was Martin Nicolas Matamala, 11-7 from Argentina. He is the second fighter from RGBA to be promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton, 8-0, improved to 8-0, 7 knockouts. He was on the undercard of Josecito Lopez versus Keith One-Time Thurman. His opponent was Victor Dorocha, 8-4-1. And the fight was announced as a super middleweight fight at 168. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton, he is under the banner of Mikey Garcia Promotions. Manuel Flores, 7-0, 5 knockouts. He's a southpaw, and here he is seen in a picture next to Abner Mares. He was helping Abner Mares prepare for Tank Davis. Manuel Flores is managed by Robert Garcia's longtime friend Cameron Duncan. So he was scheduled to fight on Prospects Collide January 26th, January 18th in San Bernardino, but he did not fight after all. Manuel Flores, 7-0, 5 knockouts. He goes by Gucci Manny on social media. Isidro Ochoa, 6-0, 2 knockouts. He is a top-ranked fighter. He's scheduled to fight on Sunday on the Jose Carlos Ramirez undercard, and I believe he fights at 122. I have a typo here that he fights at 130, but I believe he's a super bantamweight and fights at 122. And then his opponent has been announced. Brian Lua, another top-ranked fighter. He is in and out of the gym. He sounds like he might be suffering from a hand injury, but he has been seen in Riverside. And I think on social media he was in Mexico recently. So Brian Lua, 5-0, 2 knockouts. Aaron Morales has also been seen here recently. Here he is next to Chepe Contreras, one of RGBA's strength and conditioning coaches. He had a pro debut in 2018. He's from Oklahoma, and he was very active. He fought a total of 5 times, so he has been seen back in the gym. Aaron Morales, 5-0, 3 knockouts. He fights at 118. He is a fighter from Oklahoma. Ray Danger Murataya, 6-0, 3 knockouts. He is scheduled to fight again on Prospects Collide 2.0 on April 26th. Ray Danger Murataya from Fontana. I believe he fights at 140. He might even fight at 147. He earned the knockout of the night for the Prospects Collide Garcia Promotions event. Ruben Rodriguez, he just fought in January, and he's scheduled to fight on the March 9th on the Porter versus Ugas fight card. And I believe that will take place in Los Angeles. He was seen in the gym sparring Joel Diaz Jr. Joel Diaz Jr. is scheduled to fight, I believe, on the top ranked cards on Sunday. Brandon B-Fly Macias, 3 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 2 knockouts. Robert has mentioned that he wants to get the rematch versus Giovanni Noriega, that draw that he had on January 18th. So they're trying to schedule that. He will definitely fight. Who knows if he gets Giovanni Noriega or if he gets somebody else. But he will be the main event or the co-main event with Louis Coria on April 26th at Prospects Collide 2.0. Robert Biggie Rodriguez, 2-0, 0 knockouts. Finally announced by Robert on ES News that Biggie has been recovering from an injury but is cleared to train and to fight. He has been seen in San Antonio back in training alongside with Hector Tanajara. Isaac Colunga also scheduled to fight on Prospects Collide 2.0. Opponent to be announced. Isaac Colunga is a very decorated high school football player from Centennial High School in Corona. I believe he's living in the San Bernardino area now. He has 2 fights in the Rancho Mirage, and he was one of the fights at Prospects Collide 1.0. So he's scheduled for Prospects Collide 2.0, April 26th. Location to be determined, but most likely back at Club Center events right there in San Bernardino. Manny Rodriguez, no pro debut, but he's been used for sparring for several professional fighters. He is the younger brother of Ruben Rodriguez, who's 4-0. And his nickname in the gym is Big Baby, and he goes by Manny Trey on social media, on Instagram, Manny_TRE, I believe. Here you see Alexis Espino, Alexis El Macizo Espino. He is gonna pro debut in Tijuana, February 23rd, along with Brandon Rios. He is promoted by Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. And here you see him sparring David Benavides. David was seen in the gym not only along Alexis El Macizo Espino, but he was also seen in the gym with Esquiva Fancao. So fantastic work. David Benavides fights at 168. He's a WBC champion at 168. It sounds like he might have been suspended, but he's definitely going to be in the ring back soon. So here you see, for the first time that I've known, the Benavides in Riverside, RGBA Riverside. And then a friend of Alexis Espino, Evan Sanchez. He's 3-0 with 2 knockouts. He's a welterweight. I believe he's residing in Riverside, but he is from Parlier in the Fresno County. And his Instagram is Evan Sanchez _98. So another prospect to look out for, Evan Sanchez. Eric Puente is scheduled to fight and pro debut February 16th at the Florentine Gardens in Hollywood. He has been seen at RGBA Riverside helping some of those fighters get into shape. He is managed by David McWater. This is the little brother to Blessed Hands, Joseph Adorno. This is his little brother, Magic Hands, Jeremy Adorno, and he suffered a hand injury, so he's going to have surgery. So his pro debut has been postponed. He is signed to Top Rank. He is just like his brother from Allenstown, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rican fighters. Anthony, the real Too Pretty Chavez, 7-0, 2 knockouts from San Bernardino. His next fight date is also on Prospects Collide 2.0, April 26th, and his opponent is to be determined. And he is trained by IE's infamous Henry Ramirez. Wesley Diana, another fighter trained by Fernando Vargas, who's 7-0, 6 knockouts, and he just fought January 26th in Mexicali, Baja California. So another prospect to look out for, trained by the world champion Fernando Vargas. And then we have a fight date of March 17th for Josue Vargas. We are now seeing him in his second camp with RGBA. He might not be trained or managed by Robert Garcia, but he spars and trains out of RGBA Riverside. Josue is 14-1 and once was with Mayweather Promotions, but very recently signed with Top Rank and has been very active. As a southpaw, he is helping Jose Carlos Ramirez in preparation for Jose Cepeda. And very recently this week, we've seen him for the first time spar Mikey Garcia and prep for Errol Spence. And then a fighter that was with RGBA, who I believe will always be with RGBA, but is training somewhere else currently, Jose Maria Chema Delgado, who's 1-0-3. He has a fight date of February 22nd. He posted that on his Instagram. Here he is seen with Joshua Franco. That's an old picture, so that's not a current picture, but that's the one that I found on his Instagram, just so that you guys could know what Chema looked like. And he will be fighting soon, but it seems like he's been training outside of RGBA at Riverside. But a very close friend to RGBA, Chema Delgado. Joseph Bonas has also been scheduled to fight January 23rd. He is 4-0. He's been a pro since 2013. He is a friend of RGBA. He made an appearance along with Eric De Leon in Oxnard at RGBA Oxnard, and definitely perked everybody's ears in his potential in the ring. Joseph Bonas. Here is a tweet that I put out in regards to all the fighters from RGBA and in January. They had a total of 10 fights. The record was 8-1-1. Lindolfo and Ruben Rodriguez earned their wins on the 13th. And then on the 18th, Louis Coria, Isaac Colunga, and Ray Murataya all had wins. B-Fly earned a draw that night. And then on the Bulletproof, Glanton won, Misael Chino won, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. won. All their fights on the 26th. And Josecito, it goes down as an L on his record, but he came one punch away from knocking out Keith One-Time Thurman in the 7th round to earn the WBA welterweight title. So Josecito definitely earned another paycheck towards his next fight. And 8-1-1 is RGBA's official record for all their work in January 2019. I want to give photo credit to Crown Boxing for the Mikey versus Spence flyer, and then also a photo credit to Cumbia for the Carlos Lincona picture. And then I also want to give video credits to ES News, Cheese by Rainbow, and Fight Hype, and also Against the Ropes podcast, all videos that help me put all these current updates together. So thank you to ES News, Cheese by Rainbow, via Fight Hype, and Against the Ropes podcast. The rest of my information comes from the fighters' Instagrams and Twitter. So hopefully you liked the video. I'm Sonteo. You can find me on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Sonteo_media, and you can follow me on Instagram at Sonteo_media as well. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. More videos coming soon. Thanks.